Good day, viewers. This is Wadidja, as in what did you say, what did you do, what did you think, and bringing you another gameplay and commentary video for Anthem. Today, we're going to work on this Path to Glory and the daily and weekly objectives. And I think today is a good beginning day, to start a new kind of, I don't know, frame of mind as far as the gameplay and, expectations or, just goals in mind. I thoroughly decided to kind of run on Grandmaster 1 for now, until my build improves enough to feel confident to run with randoms on Grandmaster 2 and 3 to a point where, the missions aren't taking over 30 minutes to run. I'm going to also, primarily because I'm switching focus to just working on the challenges that are available to us, critical objectives past the point of the main story, as well as the faction goals that are available to us in unlocking other aspects within the Fort Tarsus. So taking a look now at these daily and weekly challenges and the goals and what's involved with obtaining them. At the moment, a critical objective I'm working on is the Challenge of Valor, which requires a certain amount of daily challenges to be completed, as well as weekly challenges to be completed. And I think all we need to do is this under expeditions. The Challenge of Resolve is what we're working on here, and need 4 more weekly challenges for that. So hopefully by the end of this video we'll be prepared to make the next video for that accomplishment, and take a walk through, see if there's any changes. And definitely part of this adjustment to the mentality of goals in mind, this challenge, Champion of Tarsus, is what I want to hope to complete sooner than later. And by leaving it on Grandmaster 1, regardless of the composition of the team, because I run with a sort of a more tanky survivor loadout for my ranger, and just in general when I play games, that's my mentality. And to be able to solo the situation if necessary, and really be a good asset to my team. So Grandmaster 1, I can do all those things and get through the material sooner than later, as well as provide the opportunity for all the various different drops that are available to us. So yeah, these are the rewards you get from accomplishing this. I mean, a lot of the rewards are kind of lackluster at the moment and almost pointless, but it gives a constructive goal in mind to reach, and to just have a more constructive outlook about the way it seems that your progress is being retarded and handicapped, inhibited. Probably, my best guess is due to lack of content. My personal opinion, it would be really cool if they decided to just release this as a beta of some sort, and similar to the way Red Dead has gone about their situation at Rockstar. It would have given a little bit more plausible excuse, shall we say, for the amount of disappointments this has sort of lended to the greater audience. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the build, and how I've decided to stylize the Javelin at the moment. They had a refresh to the store today. I'll let you see what's going on with that real quick. You had this finger guns in mode, this failed crane kick, and another emote with fist in the air, some fabrics, and and a graphic. they're all pretty decent, to be honest with you. I went ahead and just, continue to invest in the game and get them. I like the idea of the failed crane kick with the interceptor, and um, this graphic here is pretty decent, and it's interesting too the way they sort of highlight the differences between these vinyls. Let me show you real quick here. Because this vinyl here is considered a common graphic. They're all graphics, but because this is an uncommon one, you seem to have more coverage throughout the javelin. Let me go to this one here so you can see a little bit more clearly how this new graphic, vinyl covers more of your javelin because it's uncommon, versus say these common ones that we seem to get out of the Elysian chest, and that might be available through the store. You know, and what's interesting is, though this is uncommon, you would think to yourself, okay, well, this one here, which I got out of Elysian chest, should provide some more coverage than just the shoulder and the forehead. You can't really make it out as clearly here because it's a black background, but I'll switch back to the one I'm running with for the moment. And pretty much for me, I use my loadout options for just styling differences. The loadouts are all the same, but yeah, just to compare this uncommon, which you could purchase, from this uncommon, which you could get out of the Elysian chest by some random luck of the draw. It kind of just lets you know, don't worry about what you miss out on. It gives you a little 7 here with some lower release on the side, which is cool. And more than likely they're going to bring the event back, I would say, and hopefully they still allow people to achieve these goals. The sad thing is, of course, like I would think if they do it that way, the earlier you are in on the situation, the better, because therefore you have more chances each time the event comes out to gain, a drop in that scenario. If you're coming in late in the game and these things are still available for you to get, then, you'll have a long list to fulfill. But, I feel like they have a way with trying not to let people miss out on the opportunity, but instead, bait you for the opportunity when it comes around, and for however long it comes around, and for however much luck you have. So, it's interesting, but yeah, this is one of the new emotes here too for today with the fist in the air type thing. It's not bad, and we got this finger guns here today as well, which is kind of cool. Like I said, I went ahead and decided to put the kick on the interceptor. I thought that would be kind of poignant. At the moment, I'm sort of working on a build on each one of these other javelins to go ahead and eventually enjoy them as well. But yeah, this is the failed crane kick here. Oops, that's the box. Hang on. Yeah, there it is. That's it. So it's kind of cute. But yeah, to the point of today's activities and javelin, I've chosen number 5 with a nice dark paint. This is closest to me, one of the closest colors you can get in black with this Legion of Dawn color, because our material, because whenever if you have the access and you were able to get the legendary package for the deluxe version, I think, of this game, you got the Legion of Dawn material, but it you can't ever create a pure black with it. Whenever you try to do a black, it comes out green. But it seems like if you were to try to mix colors within the deep burgundy range, you start to see a black color come to light. So that's why I went ahead with with that. As closest to black as I could get there. Hey, you doing there, Pop Shot? Is there a way to redeem the item you get from the daily key? Yes, sir. Whenever you run a stronghold, uh, you at the end you have 4 chests, one for essentially each person that's in the mission to go ahead and open up the chest with the key that they have available. Sadly, because of the population of players and the randomness of where a particular people are pretty much playing between the 3 strongholds, you might be the only one in there with the key. Lately it's been 1 to 2 people with a key. It's rare lately you see people with 3 or everybody's got a key, or 3 people have a key. Like the first day or 2 it was like that. But yeah, this is the only thing different on this Ranger Javelin that besides the basic armor. It's the arms that I have here. But yeah, it's the chests are a bit lackluster as far as the rewards, and it's very disappointing when you get crafting materials out of it, of all things. But yeah, my build basically consists of heavy shields, heavy armor. At the moment I had to make a slight adjustment because the last upgrade to my build, which was this assault launcher here, gave me 40% luck. So with 40% luck on top of this general favors 38% luck, and I have no other options between those 2 things on the luck. I had to go ahead and take off the extra armor and shields that I had available on this Roundner's Blaze here. I had an extra 75% armor and extra 30% shield, which to me I like I said, I like survivability. I know dying's part of the game, but surviving's part of the game too. And I prefer that end of it more so than not. But to go ahead and keep myself at between the 90 and 99% mark, to try to have the maximum benefits of the loot drops as it appears to be at the moment. This is basic communal speculation and theory. I mean, it is coupled with certain particulars that have been released from the devs and what have you, but it seems like the rule of thumb is to stay under 99%, and above 89% if you can, so between 90 and 99%. And so with this build here, I'm able to get 98% luck while still maintaining as much of my preference of things as possible. I went ahead and switched my Radiant Fortress, which used to have more shields, to this one here that has more armor. Again, just trying to balance out the armor and shields, because having too much shields is great and all, but believe me, the enemies will at some point in time take you out of that situation, and if you don't have the health to reinforce the point, you'll just get schmelted. But I try to balance out the situation too with the components. Like I said, I try to work with more of a survival situation, but running with elemental ops here, which is great because I get to apply acid to a target on a 5-hit streak, and when you use a shotgun, you're shooting out more than 5 pellets or black, armament at one point in time. So you can instantly apply acid to your target, as well as apply acid along with the fire from the Roundner's Blaze. Emergency power works really lovely, except for the fact that there are times where you can get hit and be in a critical state, and for some odd reason, I guess due to the handshake that's required from the server, you can get kind of locked up and it won't activate for some reason. It happens far less than it did before patch 1.04. They've done something in regard to the shield gating, I think, as well as your low life threshold or something like that. But either way, however it's termed, I have seen a difference in being able to activate your ultimate at a critical state with emergency power. It's a lot better than it was. Running with General's Favor too here. Luckily I was able to get one with some luck on it here, and increasing the melee damage. Hitting an enemy with melee increases the L1 damage 45 seconds. You know, for some odd reason after patch 1.04, the full detail of information about how fast this recharges your grenades has been blank. Before this, it was available. I don't know if it's changed, you know, and it's sad to say, but we don't fully know just how much smoke and mirrors is behind a lot of these stats. But, you know, you do feel a difference. I have noted a difference between them, so somewhere along the way they do matter. Um, but yeah, this soften blows works with the charm, especially in conjunction with the Radiant Fortress, because, you know, as soon as your shields run out, you know, with good armor, okay, that's an important point. Um, you know, this 75% damage resistant kicks in like a charm and helps um, give you that cushion to make the difference between dying and not dying, and being able to realize that you might be having to activate your ultimate at some point in time if you can't get your shields back up fast enough with your Radiant Fortress, or by, you know, doing a tactical retreat. But yeah, tip of the spear, you know, increasing combo damage by 60%. Because for me, running with this sort of, you know, um, damage, you know, resistant, and, you know, just high survivor loadout or build. Um, you know, my damages are going to come in with, as far as the ranger is concerned, through combos and, you know, getting the ultimate up as fast as possible. That's the reason why, you know, prefer general's favor, as well as, you know, tip of the spear here, increasing the combo damage by 60%. But, you know, reinforcing the tank aspect of the build with providing 40% armor to myself and anybody in the immediate vicinity. Now, I mean, you've got to be fairly close to, you know, someone on your team or an AI that is a friendly that is down. You can revive them, uh, generally with one uh, you know, combo. But if they're really down in a very, very critical state, I've noticed that sometimes it takes two combos to get them back up. But, you know, oftentimes you could probably just revive them about as quickly as you might be able to set up that scenario, unless it's already present for you. Um, but, you know, here we have Vanguard's badge to, you know, helping me to restore the shields if I perform a melee hit. Luckily, after 1.04, this inscription adjusted itself to be far more handy for the ranger. Um, you know, and you can pretty much melee hit just about anything, and as long as you do an immediate um, counter of moving out of the way, because most enemies would immediately counter you in one sense or another. So you need to jump out the way, thruster out the way, get out the way immediately after performing it, or immediately have a counter attack. Like in case of the ranger, I'll melee attack, throw a grenade, or use the heat-seeking missile. But sometimes, you know, the enemy will shift position, so you know, gaining ground, you know, not respecting the fact that they're trying to take your ground, and, you know, having a counter attack seems to be more efficient for me with that. But yeah, speaking of the grenades, I like to run with the last argument. You know, I'm doing a you know, triggering situation here with both the grenades and the seeking, because it helps add ultimate charges a lot more quickly, as well as the fact that, you know, I've got, you know, charges going on extra for this, as well as charges for the recurring vengeance. So, you know, anytime something's primed, I can do a combo, I can recover health, or provide health for my teammates. It, you know, it's just very, very handy. And I seem to make out well with electricity on the mace and fire from the weapon here. Other combinations have been a little too slow, and have provided a little less, you know, throughput on DPS. Um, you know, my favorite is to run with two rounders, to be honest with you, but I've noticed that there are certain situations where you need to recover your shields faster than not. And, you know, and because, you know, that damage resistance is going to last for you for very long. But yeah, that's a good summation of why I have my build the way it is and what it is. So let's get on with the action, I believe. That would be good to be in order. But yeah, I'm testing out this pattern real quick here on this. I think I prefer more of a solid red with this here. You'll see what I mean when we put the weapons on. It's kind of all in hopes to sort of coordinate with the weapons. Is the reason why I've been going with these color patterns here. I mean, to me, the weapons are. I'm not sure what possessed them to design them this way. I mean, well, the look. I mean, the design and function is awesome, but the actual look of the weapons have a bit to be much to be desired. They look like you got your weapons out of a toy store or something. I mean, I look at that. What is that? You know. So you know, hopefully they may do a remapping of the colors on these things. I mean, some of them are better than others, and then you've got other stuff like that, which I mean, it literally looks like a toy. I don't get it. I think there's a definite cross-cultural input here on the styling of the weapons, for better or worse. But yeah, it's you know, I hope that coming out in the future, either you know the other style weapons because of the nature of them, because I feel like they're probably going to come out with something in the regard of like a relic type weapons or ancient weapons or something like that. Heck, they might even come out with something like off-world weapons, in which case the aesthetics of the situation is going to be a little bit more becoming. I mean, I just like I said, the artistic graphics of the situation are cool. The functional look of the weapons is awesome. It's just the choice, the palette of colors. It's definitely more fiesta, for sure. Mentality behind it. It's all, in my opinion. But it's all good though. It definitely challenges you at times to be creative if you want to show your weapons. But yeah. So let's take a look here. We're going to go after the Elysian Key first. Let's see what we got for that real quick again. Path to Glory. We're going to need to do 2 contracts, so we could probably combine that with 2 legendary contracts to help satisfy these weekly goals. Like I say, so we can work on the last part of this challenge or resolve along the way. Alright, let's do a jump on ins. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when it drops. Hopefully, the game will show some love somewhere along the way. I'm kind of going with the general consensus that it's like when it's your time, it's your time. I like to make use of the extra shit you get through the crap drops on the use of the sigils. I like the extra armor and shields and the extra gear recharge. It just reinforces the point of my build. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and take it down to Grandmaster 2. I was testing time and player count as far as people joining missions in Grandmaster 2 and Grandmaster 3 last night, and the community's kind of on Skid Row at the moment, and so I noticed there wasn't even full teams in Grandmaster 2 and 3, and you had a lot of individuals sort of pushing the waters, in my opinion, with their build, and how much they're going to be carried through the situation. And Grandmaster 2 and 3 aren't the best to be carried through, in my opinion. It's a little rough on everybody in a negative way. Some people theorize that even as far as drops, people's gear scores could affect the situation, as well as time to get through the scenarios is just very taxing, unnecessarily. And the game, I think, has a way of inhibiting players from pushing too far too fast in their as far as what drops they're going to be likely to receive, regardless of what mode you play in. I think I'm not, don't quote me on all that. These are still theories and postulates running out there, but it's based off of experience and serious time played that a lot of people, including myself, are speculating these aspects. But we're just gonna chill out, enjoy the ride, see how it goes.
So what are we up to, Yarrow?
Got a distress signal from a freelancer. Let's lend them a hand.
I'll see what I can do.
Yippee-ki-yay. Not the objective.
Situation with that freelancer. Help them.
Got it.
Everybody's doing the monster match. The monster match. This is brown.
They're running, but we'll be back.
Whole bunch of Ranger danger.
Very tough scar crawled out from somewhere.
Got it.
Break his ass.
Good. Finish off the rest. Quickly now.
I understand. Save my hide.
Good. They won't be causing any more trouble. Wait, I've got something more for you. Close by. I hear about freelancers who went dark. I don't like it. Let's see what we can find.
Understood. I'm on.
Let's go get some. Glad they improved the reload speed after patch 1.04. I tell you, they can get you killed.
Free them.
Especially on the sniper rifles. Oh,
You got it.
goodness. It's still a little long though, in my opinion.
That's one. Almost done.
I'll get her done.
Glad it was a freelancer that saved my hide.
You have enough. Sharp eyes. Oh, the scars are very angry now. Brought out their best. You need to finish this fight. Quickly now.
On it.
Very good. I think you are the last one standing.
I think I might switch up the material back to the solid.
Freelancer,
cool, though,
I'm
but
hearing reports of a
I
dangerous
prefer
animal
the
in
solid.
your area. You should check that out.
I'll get over there.
Monster around here. Start searching and see if you can find a trail.
I'll see what I can find. Look over here. Does this give us a clue?
That's it. We have a direction. Can't let that monster continue. You have to stop it.
On it. That thing just isn't giving up.
Wait, there's another one of those monsters. This just got interesting.
Still going?
That seems done. Not so bad. You did good work. Helped many.
Yeah, you can get through them a lot faster. To me, drops aren't much different. You do seem to get more masterworks in Grandmaster 2 and 3, so to speak, to drop, but with the extra amount of time it takes, and the randomness of what your team composition may be and how capable they are, it just doesn't feel worth it. Worth the candle. Especially seeing that I'm switching my objective here to getting through these challenges sooner than later. Somebody looks like they're rocking a new camo. I think this masterwork we got has some luck on it. We might hold on to that just in case something comes through the winds as far as this luck stuff and what may really be happening. I think we have a legendary version of this airborne advantage. Yeah, we do. Does it have any luck on it? No, it doesn't. So we'll hold on to it for now. I'm doing the same thing with this tip of the spear down here. And this other one. I think what's in order is another legendary contract. Oh, that's right. I wanted to switch the color thing. I mean, the material, rather.
What are we up to today?
But yeah, this is the new camo pattern that the other ranger was wearing. It just came out today. Yeah, that's what we want to do with it. Yep, that'll work. Yeah, these contracts actually add 50 points towards your factions. Not too bad. Could be better, but not too bad. I still need to try to see exactly how many points these legendary missions, excursions are worth towards your faction goals. It may vary. Disaster protocol. Master 1. Understood. Yeah, this setup is actually capable of Grandmaster 2 as well. Not as capable as I had it with, the extra armor and shields before this extra luck came through, but it's still capable. It's just like I said, the team compositions vary, and even having a full team is questionable. And the game stops compensating or scaling, I think, after 2 players. So like 3 players versus 4 players are still the same as far as your enemy ad count and damage output, if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember in one of the dev broadcasts. But you know, things are subject to change. Yeah, it'd be nice if they allowed you to at least scroll through your tip options a lot. It's interesting that they didn't implement that. I can't remember the last game that didn't allow you to do that. I don't think Warframe allows you to do that, but you know, they give you a nice little cinematic while the game's loading. You know, in between missions, rather. Yeah.
Matthias, suit is up and running. Where are we headed?
There's
I found a passage that describes the location for more Arcanist ruins. I'll mark the area.
same interceptor from the last mission.
I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, there's a specific stronghold that's available for the daily challenges, so you know, more than likely that's probably the better place to try to do a grind for the chest if anybody was pushing for that point. Might do a little bit of that, you know, after probably like my 3rd broadcast for the day. Probably close out team broadcasting with that. Like I said, we're going to try to go through these daily and challenges, this path to glory, and hopefully set us up for challenge of might to be accomplished with the next video, and then, you know, close out with some stronghold grind for the Legion chest rewards.
Fantastic. Another one finished.
But you know, of course, we're going to do that along the way of this for this broadcast here, simply for the point of also to completing the daily challenges. Okay, why did he just get hit by that? Where is it? Oh, there's 2. Shit.
Quickly done. That should be enough. Have another diversion for you. The relic is summoning creatures.
Suit is up and running, Matthias. Got some details for me?
I would really love it if we could go look at a shape relic that's been demonstrating some unusual properties.
Understood.
A lot of people don't realize it, but these the bulwark point helps reduce the status time that is applied to you. As well as like Radiant Fortress can help negate the point by increasing your shield.
This relic here is getting more and more dangerous. Find those fragments.
Okay. All clear. Enemies down.
You fought very well. I'm impressed.
See, I've noticed like sometimes the segments like this, they don't even like give drops towards all the ads because they want you to get to the objective. You'll get ammo and health, but you won't get, you know, loot drops from my experience on certain aspects of these missions, so that, you know, people aren't monopolizing the point and or exploiting the point, as it's sometimes referenced.
That should be enough. Wait, I I have another task for you. That was so much to get done. A group of very sensitive instruments has stopped sending information. I need to repair it.
I'll check it out.
Here we are. The beacons need to be repaired. A warning? They emit signals that attract animals. One down. You're doing well. Well done. I have no idea how I would have managed that.
I think if you keep activating, you can wind up triggering 3 Titans, and so it's kind of better to wait
On it.
and just doing one at a time, in my opinion.
That should be enough of that. Efficient.
And I don't think they did that. So now we've got more than one Titan to fight.
Good work with all the fighting.
It's
Exceptionally done.
done.
Good
Nice.
work on that. Good work indeed. I will need time to study everything from today. My
Damn.
great thanks.
Yippee-ki-yay. Woohoo. Uh-oh. There's some perps. There's some perps. Can I get the... Oh, damn it. Yeah, I personally preferred it when, you know, that so-called accident where players could pick up loot for other players, you know, people didn't like it because they wanted to be more discriminate as far as the loot they picked up, and I would have preferred them to implement the ability to delete loot from our inventory than to take away the ability for us to, you know, just collect all the loot from whomever is able to get it, because that way you don't miss out on anything. I mean, it's very likely that it could have been a legendary sitting over there versus those 2 purples, you know, so in which case I would have been highly sore about the point. And I mean, you know, you can look around as best you can, but sometimes you miss things just because you're human. And, you know, but yeah, I personally hope they bring back the point of everybody being able to collect loot for you, or give you some kind of indicator on your mini map as to what loot is available to pick up on the map. Something. But you know, right now as it stands, if you don't take the time away from, you know, being effective for your team, or keeping up with your team to look around for loot, I mean, you know, that's your only option, is to look around and not, like I said, not keep up with the team or not be effective towards the team's goals. And like I said, I preferred it when, you know, they had everybody had the ability to pick up loot for everyone. I mean, you know, to me, if you're smart about playing, you're using consumables, so therefore you need the materials for that. You know, unless you're, you know, like doing some kind of intense farming or something like that, that's the only time where I could see that being an issue. In which case, if you're doing that, it would be smart to have a cohesive and coordinated team, and you know, therefore you all as a team are not picking up purples and what have you. So it's, if that's not what you want to do, or blues or whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. But yeah, I sorely miss the fact that people could collect gear for, you know, drops for you. I mean, it just allowed me to be more of a team player. It allowed me to maintain focus on the objective. It allowed me to maintain focus on, you know, whatever aspect I wanted to, basically, in relationship to being effective for the team, whether that's laying out DPS, making sure somebody's revived, whatever. But you know, now we're back to the way it used to be, where, you know, you could easily miss a drop, and you know, you have to take time away from everything just to go looking for it. Anyway, so hang on. All right, we got our key, so we want to do Temple of Scar Stronghold. And where are we standing with our weeklies here? So I haven't completed a weekly yet, but we're working on that. And after we do the Temple of Scar, gear, okay. World events, I guess would be the next thing after Temple of Scar, and you know, this falls under the Path of Glory, so we could probably knock out some more stronghold runs, I would think. You know, it's an odd hit or miss as far as who's going to have a key, and you know how great the public is and how frequent people are playing throughout the day. I got a feeling that, you know, sooner than later there's going to be people grinding, you know, that won't have a key, and probably in about 3-4 hours, you know, folks might be coming back on that, you know, that might have a key, or we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we want to go ahead and do the Temple of Scar. Yeah, I like this decal and the way it breaks up the lines on the helmet, because you know, certain angles the helmet can look a little flat or like a bowl shape, or you know, even kind of see the lines of you know, old German type helmets, Austrian type helmets in the styling. This was not bad, but you know, I just like the lines to be broken up a little bit. It kind of highlights more of the detail to the shape of the helmet, especially seeing that I prefer, you know, darker colors more often than not. But I like the way this white comes together with the pattern, the vinyl that I'm using. But yeah, I tell you, switching the mentality about, you know, whether they're going to be leveling up a particular way, it's just, you know, it's just no point in chasing it. I mean, you know, they're really not taking into account human nature and, you know, the punishment reward system. And that, you know, you leave a person unfulfilled for too long, you know, they're going to generally just let it be, especially given the nature of what this is. It's a video game, for crying out loud, you know, so, you know, there are other ways to get through the situation and enjoy it. But, you know, I still feel like working on my Ranger and playing with it is still the better option at the moment. Still haven't fully committed myself to playing with the other javelins at the moment, but you know, I'm sure I will. I have during the beta, and you know, when it's leveling up a little bit, but you know, Ranger just seemed to compensate for a lot of the situations far more effectively than the other javelins. It's, you know, I'd rather play to my weaknesses, and so therefore my strengths are stronger, rather than, you know, be a glass cannon per se, or a one-hit wonder where, you know, you're effective only in this situation, but in others you're severely limited, like with the Storm. You know, if you're grounded for whatever reason, you know, you're at a negative standpoint as far as your shielding. And the Infiltrator, the Interceptor, excuse me, it's limited, you know, when it can't, you know, as far as the shielding, when it's not in, you know, fast motion of some sort. You know, and the Colossus doesn't have shields. I mean, you know, it's just certain, you know, I really do appreciate the all-rounded nature of the Ranger, so that, you know, though you may not be a master of anything in particular, you can still be a master of yourself as well as a jack of all trades, or so to speak, however you want to coin the phrase. But yeah, so like being special ops or, you know, Navy SEAL, Ranger, you know, the Ranger aspect. Rangers are special operations within the regular army, largest actually. But you know, I likes it.
And done. Thank God, I was getting a migraine.
We couldn't have that. He looks friendly.
Does he now? Nothing but meat and potatoes behind that shield. Stagger him and then dig in.
Interesting metaphor.
Well, I'm hungry. Can we not talk about food right now? See? That wasn't so hard. Says the backseat driver.
Hold on. I'm detecting extremely high energy readings further in.
Damn it, this speeds up our timetable. Why? What's happening? There are records of a super construct in this area. There's the hunch, but I think Skilos might use it to cause a cataclysm.
Ugh, of course. Corvus doesn't do simple missions.
It's not like I told Skilos the construct was here. Look at all these barrels, just lying around.
They could at least organize them.
Yeah, stars will really do that. Try filling up the pump, freelancer.
We're in.
Hey, congratulations, you opened the door. Hey, don't knock the little wins. They're important. For morale.
It's funny they say that. That's what I think sometimes when they give you these bullshit ass drops.
They may not be pretty, but they are resourceful.
Just be thankful for the little wins. Ouch. Crash test dummy.
Relieving
You heard that
themselves?
sound? That sound means something dropped somewhere.
Stars prefer meat that's gone off. Why do you know these things?
I don't know what. Ow, crash test dummy, stop hitting stuff.
Thanks, Ev. Very helpful.
I've got an idea, but it's definitely not covert.
Told you, not priority.
And, freelancer, it might cave you in.
Calculated risk.
The structural integrity of that wall is weak. See those explosives? Blow the damn thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Freelancer, you need to grab the explosives.
Explosives in place.
Wow. Give yourself plenty of time, huh?
It's a default setting.
Focus, please. Explosives primed. Get back, Freelancer.
Way's clear.
And you've still got all your fingers and toes.
Always a plus.
Ugh. Looks like we tapped into a primitive
Hopefully
sewer
I didn't miss
system.
anything.
More than looks like it.
Good news is, we're closing in on the construct, and probably more stars, but that's to be expected.
Seven, I want it noted that I'm literally walking through shit for you.
Noted. Out of the sewer and into the frying pan.
That's not the expression.
Keep moving. Exit's above you.
Love coming down with the mace. Remind me of some old Thunder the Barbarian shit. Aye. That's the shit Thunder the Barbarian used to cry out when he jumped down from shit. I would always be curious how he jumped down off the highest shit, boy, right onto the back of his horse. I'm like, bro, that's got to bust your nuts. Thunder in the fucking area. With his friends, Luke on the mark, and it's the stereo. Hanna-Barbera had some good cartoons back in the day. Funny as shit.
Yes. Energy readings.
Interesting concepts.
Seb, why would Skelos start a cataclysm?
I don't know, but it's not the first Sky like to try. I've never seen a swarm this size. And considering
Especially
the
with Thunder
defenses,
the
this place
Barbarian. I
must
mean, the
mean
way he
something.
opened up is blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude in the future as a slave. You know, it's like he burst his bonds for freedom. I was like, oh shit, that's what's up. Magical sun sword rages the battle against the cause of evil. I can hit back too, buddy. Yeah, these boys is rocking out. Individuals, gals, don't know who all's in here.
That's Skelos, but it didn't have a tank before. That's new.
It's also partly organic.
What?
Ah, you
Isn't
bastards.
just a pilot. It and the tank are
Hate
fused
wasting the
together.
ultimate.
It must have entombed itself to heal its wounds.
Cool theory. Can I still kill it?
Yes, it'll just be a more complicated endeavor.
Something told me, I was like, this team's too good. Shield gonna go up so I can get it off.
That's it, shield's down. Give them hell.
Well, they say there's fire in hell. So let's put some fire up the right. Oh shit. Ah shit, wrong way. I'ma die. I'ma die. Give me some shields, bitch. Thank you. Uh-oh, somebody's down. What's up with that? What's up with that? Yeah, I missed the extra shields and armor I had before I got this upgrade to my bit. Oh, man. Best to get behind these things. Can.
construct is silent, and Skelos is no more.
Like you plastic over the deserve.
We should
Get
inform
her
the audience
done.
about the tank. And
Get
let the
it
construct
done.
respond
Get
to
it
scars.
done.
Yeah, I'll
Get
put in my
it
report.
done.
But first, how about a round of celebratory drinks?
As long as Corvus is paying.
Nice. 2 chests, 3 chests. How about that? Very nice. Oh, 4 chests. Haha. Nice. Bang, bang. Thank you, thank you. Good run, good run, good run. Good run. Everybody gets a little bang, bang. Yeah. Give him a little Fonzie. Now let's just let it process, see what we might get. Hopefully got a little something, something that we can write home about. Yeah, even though my attitude about what my goals are as far as the challenges versus drops and builds, I still look forward to getting good drops and look forward to getting rewarded for my time and effort beyond some of these other things here. Yesterday I accidentally pressed the button too many times and went past the Elysian chest reward, and I had to try to figure out what it was. It was a pain in the ass. Very easy to do. Okay, so we got materials out of 1, to be expected, of course. Materials out of another, to be expected, of course. I mean, you know, why would they not give you something to look forward to? I mean, embers on the 3rd, alloy in the 3rd. How about that? Oh my gosh, I tell you, the morbid hilarity of this is astounding. And we did luck up on one thing. How about that? We got a vinyl decal, Venerable Signet. And more than likely we won't be able to view it. And we have 97 chances left to get the remainder of the rewards for the remainder of this event. So, Venerable Signet. Let's see what it might be. Three out of 4 gives you crap. Awesome. Venerable Signet. Yeah, I've noticed too after patch 1.04, like the support gear will have some whack totals, like for like 6 armor or 5 shield. It's like, what good is that gonna fucking do you? I mean, it's like insulting to see some of the stats that, like I remember them saying they lowered the floor and raised the ceiling, and it's like it's an interesting result when you get it. I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like it's possibly excusable when it comes to gear damage or something, but like, that's bad shit, and you know, for your shields and your armor. I find, because I mean, at least I think, I don't know at what point they're putting on the extra 15% or extra 5% for whatever it is, but towards your armor and shields. Is it on your base? Is it on your maximum after you have all your other gear on? Is it start adding it like that? Like, no, I don't know if anybody can determine that with the fact that we don't have any baseline stats to compare anything to. nor do we have any regard for what the game does to balance the situation out when we get in these missions. Let's see if they may have did a little soft patch to help us see what we get from these chests. And it does not appear to be so. So what we will need to do is momentarily pause the broadcast as the game reboots itself in menu, and it show up. So you got a moment, but come on back. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Take a potty break. Grab a snack. I think I'm gonna take that advice. Yeah, at least you know you can take some visual breaks from staring at the screen, looking at it constructively. Are we out? Yeah, okay. So, settings, go to quick game, exit to main menu. Looks like we're back here.